co-main event. It is scheduled for 6 rounds in the light heavyweight division. Brought to you by Roy Jones Jr. Boxing Promotions in association with Montoya Boxing, along with their great sponsors. Art of Music. Memories won't last forever, but memorabilia does. Tecate. Born bold. There is no bad choice. Diva Tequila. What's your diva moment? Boost Mobile by Dharma Wireless. And Q Factor. Changing lives, one adjustment at a time. Our 3 judges scoring on a 10-point must system will be Javier Alvarez, Rosario Solis, and Javier Martinez. Our referee in charge, third man in the ring, will be Neil Young. Introducing to you first, fighting tonight out of the blue corner. He's wearing black trimmed in red and weighed in at 177 pounds. Coming to us from Los Angeles, California, he brings a professional record consisting of 8 wins, just 1 defeat, with 7 of his 8 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ronald Showtime Mixon. And his opponent across the ring, fighting tonight out of the red corner. He's wearing gold trimmed in black and weighed in at 176 pounds. Hailing from right here, Dallas, Texas, he is undefeated with 4 wins. 3 of his 4 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Adrian Monroe Taylor.
Remember, protect yourself at all times, okay? Touch them up, good luck to you.
And now let's take a look at our tail of the tape between Adrian Taylor and Ronald Mixon. As you see, Mixon has the height advantage, both of them the same age at 27. It is Adrian Taylor and Ronald Mixon. Neither fighter likes to go to the scorecards very often. Likely we will see the same here tonight in our co-main event. Ray Flores, Jim Grieshaber, and the very talented Rob Brandt here in Dallas.
What a fight this looks to be. Ray, I've been excited about this one. And Rob, Adrian Taylor and Ronald Mixon, 2 very powerful fighters inside and outside of the ring. Both guys have been through a lot in their lives, living and growing up in dangerous areas and doing a lot for their community. You see the explosive power of Taylor early on display.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got very strong young man. I've actually spent a little bit of time in the ring with Mixon as well in the amateurs. Very tall, very rangy fighter with a long jab, I think. But Taylor's going to have to move his way in order to get to the body and then move it upstairs.
Adrian Taylor, the father of 2. He has a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old. He told us during the fighter meetings that boxing changed his life. He is aggressive, but there is this precise aggression that Taylor implores.
Absolutely, and he's a guy who loves to come in and bring the heat. Mixon, on the other hand, learned a lot from his loss to Carlos Congora. He got knocked out in the first round against that 2-time Olympian. On national TV, he said, hey, I don't like to lose that undefeated record, but I learned a lot from that loss. I'm taking things a lot more seriously now. I'm only worried about the fight coming in. Felt like he was distracted by other things heading into that one.
And Mixon told us that despite the blemish, he feels he can have a resurgence in his career and elevate himself similar to that of Daniel Jacobs. He said Jacobs got knocked out by Dmitry Pirog back in 2009. Even though I lost to Gongora, I feel I can rattle off a significant win streak and claim championship gold down the line.
Both guys still kind of feeling each other out here early on. Montu, what a great story he is. Living here in the city, trying to empower young black children and help them realize there's more to life than the streets and the violence. He studies Egyptian and African culture all the way back ancient times, very deep. Talking to him as Mixon lands a good right, coming back with a hard left that just missed.
Under a minute left in this first round between Ronald Mixon and Adrian Taylor. The light heavyweights are in action here in Dallas. Roy Jones Jr. boxing on BN Sports, and Taylor pressing the issue.
Work out, guys. Let's go.
You know, similarly, the height hasn't been too much of an issue. Seemingly, Mixon likes to mix it up quite a bit. So they've stayed pretty close throughout this round.
And even though Mixon, he is trying to find some offense, but Taylor has very good defense, Rob.
Oh, yeah, he's worked on that quite a bit in the gym. He's very defensively sound, and his counterpunches are actually phenomenal. So you'll see here that he's attempting to fit those counterpunches in, but it's hard to do with the length of Mixon.
Coming in on the closing moments of a right hook that partially landed for Ronald Mixon. Final moments of round one between Adrian Taylor and Ronald Mixon here at Gillies in Dallas. And that's the end of the first.
Pretty entertaining round between these two guys, Adrian Taylor and Ronald Mixon, in our co-main event here tonight. Neither guy has lost a lot in his career. You can see the level of skill in there. And Rob, you can see the power in those punches from both fighters. Somebody might be going to sleep tonight.
Yeah, you know, it's very possible. I mean, it's I like the way that Taylor's looking. Of course, Mixon is doing a good job of kind of staying back in the back foot, but the distance is starting to close, especially toward the end of the last round. So it'll be more interesting to see what happens in these following rounds.
Taylor likes to come straight at him, and obviously on the inside with power in both hands. And the guy who literally could put anyone to sleep with one shot, and Mixon, who's knocked a lot of guys out in his career already. Rob, how do you see the second round shaping up, and what do you say to each fighter in those corners if you're coaching them after that round?
I would tell Taylor to continue going forward and using that jab, because he's not getting out jabbed by the taller Mixon. So I'd tell him to continue to throw that jab and get him caught on those ropes, similar to how he was doing in the last part of the round. In terms of Mixon, I would try to tell him to stay back and use that length.
Round
but,
two.
Seem to want to.
This one is scheduled for 6. And it is Taylor who's coming out on the offensive, and is that a slip or a knockdown? That appears to be a slip, as ruled by referee in charge, Neil Young. But Taylor's coming out extremely.
Go to your corner. Go to your corner over here.
And now Neil Young is going to send him to the red corner.
Up. You got a towel?
So there is some water. That is what happened. Mixon slipped on some water from the corner. And Justin Fortune, who happens to be the strength and conditioning coach of Manny Pacquiao, is the trainer for Ronald Mixon out of Los Angeles. Mixon needs to keep Taylor on the outside, but Taylor's doing a very good job of closing the distance.
Yeah, he's doing a great job of closing distance and really keeping a really tight defense. And you can see here he's not letting a whole lot through. He's throwing those shots, they're coming right back to his chin, right back to his head.
A straight left that was partially blocked by Taylor, but Mixon is settling in and trying to fight from the outside, which is exactly what he needs to do, and also double up on his jab.
Absolutely, he's kind of stalking. Is Taylor moving forward on Mixon, but Mixon's starting to find his timing a little bit. Taylor's missing with some big shots and then coming right in, clinching up with him a little bit. Obviously, the game plan is to get in tight on Mixon. And as Rob said, Mixon's going to want to keep himself outside, and is unable to do that again as Taylor right inside in his face, attempting to land big shots.
Coming in on the midway point of the second round. Spoke with Derek James yesterday at the weigh-ins, who was there supporting Adrian Taylor, and he said when they went to England for Errol Spence Jr. and Kell Brook, they brought Adrian Taylor over there as the main sparring partner because of the size, the power, and the ability of Mixon, who mimicked the style of Kell Brook, and it served Errol Spence Jr. quite well.
Those hands go. Let them go.
Absolutely did, and right now you can see Taylor and Mixon kind of getting real tight on each other, and I think Taylor wants to, this is by design, he wants to get in there and tie him up a little bit, guys, and he wants to eventually catch him on the way in. A big right just lanced off and hit Mixon in the shoulder from Taylor. Neither fighter landed much here, Rob.
Yeah, trying to make it an up-close fight. And as you see now, they're both starting to open up and land a lot more now. I like that Taylor's kind of feinting in, keep the pressure on, trying to keep Mixon's back on the ropes. But both fighters are throwing hard shots, and some of them are landing.
Taylor paws out that jab, but he's looking for that opening, and he does a very good job of moving his head. Mixon still looking for that opening, and Mixon told us that he fights to try to elevate his standing in the world and would love nothing more than to get bigger paydays, which is the key for any fighter, Rob, as you can attest to.
That's absolutely. That's what everybody works towards.
Final stages of the second round between Adrian Taylor and Ronald Mixon here in Dallas. It is Roy Jones Jr. Boxing on BN Sports. Welcome back to Roy Jones Jr. Boxing here at Gillies in Dallas, Texas. The third round scheduled for 6. Adrian Taylor undefeated 4-0, trying to move up to 5-0. Ronald Mixon 8-1 with 7 knockouts to his credit. Ray Flores, outstanding, sensational fighter in the middleweight and super middleweight division, that being the very talented Rob Brandt and also Jim Greashopper.
Round between these guys, there's been a lot of power punching early on, and you can see as they settle into the fight, each fighter having to make adjustments, Rob, changing the game plan a little bit as the fight goes along.
Yeah, you can see the Mixon's really trying to sneak in that straight left hand. He's had some success with it as of late. Taylor is really stepping in with his right hand and really trying to step off to his left. It's been interesting so far, but like I said, they are getting close, getting a little personal.
Adrian Taylor's jab seems to be affecting Ronald Mixon. It's offsetting him when it comes to his timing, and then he shoots a straight right down the middle to the abdomen of Mixon. And Taylor's confidence is starting to grow. Mixon unleashes a straight left, but Mixon gets out of the way. It grazed him.
Yeah, I'm actually very surprised that Adrian is definitely winning the battle of the jabs and with the longer fighter.
Absolutely is, and he's landing some big shots here in this round to the body and to the face of Mixon. Hurt him a little bit as he continues just to bull his way forward, frustrating Mixon.
Break, step back.
Yeah, Mixon can't find his timing whatsoever when it comes to Adrian Taylor. Taylor uses his jab, he comes forward, another straight right to the midsection of Taylor, or of Mixon, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, I definitely like how he's mixing that right hand from the body into the head, so he's moving it around quite a bit, trying to keep him guessing.
And a straight left that connected by Mixon, his best punch of the fight here in the third.
These guys are both experienced fighters. They've been in there a long time and continuing to read one another, but Mixon needed to land a shot there. He was taking a bunch of punches from Taylor, who continues to come in on him. Mixon's got to get his head back into this and get a little confidence. Coming back in with another big left there is Mixon. Taylor looks like he might be hurt.
Mixon buzzed Taylor under a minute left.
Step back, let's go.
Mixon is showcasing some of that veteran that we have seen. He's nearly going on 4 years as a pro compared to that of only 2 years for Adrian Taylor.
Yeah, you know, Adrian Taylor seems to fit a lot of experience into those 2 years they're working with a lot of the upper-level professionals in the gym that he works with. I know I've seen him work with Errol Spence Jr. for round on top of round. I mean, I've seen him work 12, 13 straight rounds with him before, so he's got a lot of experience in that small amount of time.
Mixon landed a left as they were being separated.
Mixon hit himself a big right hand that backs up Ronald Mixon as we near the end of round 3. This one is scheduled for 6.
Close round.
Ends the third.
What a great, entertaining round that was between these two guys, Rob. Changes in styles throughout the round. Mixon looked like he was getting backed up a little bit early on in that round by Taylor. Things weren't going his way, but then he was able to regroup and land a couple of big shots of his own.
Yeah, you know, I believe he started off throwing a lot of very straight left hands, and he kind of changed it up to throwing a bit more of a left hook from the southpaw stance, which really had some success with Taylor. And Taylor really rallied toward the end part of that round, throwing his straight right hand and doubling up with his jab.
And Rob, if you're in the corner of Ronald Mixon, if you're Justin Fortune, what are you telling him, especially after landing a couple big shots on Adrian Taylor?
You'd have to tell him to control that distance a little bit more. He's allowing Taylor to get very close to him, and for a man who's 6'4", you know, that's not a position you necessarily want to be in.
You hear some of the action, Jim, from the third.
Yeah, that was that left that Mixon landed as they were being separated. Looked to be legal to me as the referee was coming in, and that was one of several. So now Mixon's been hit a few times, Taylor's been hit a few times, and we go to round number 4. Both these fighters entertaining the fans here tonight in Dallas on BN Sports with Roy Jones Jr. Boxing Promotions, Adrian Taylor in the gold trunks, and Ronald Mixon in the black outline in red.
Let's go.
Taylor is coming forward. Mixon steps around and does a nice job to chop away at Taylor. And you mentioned, Rob, that Taylor's been in there with the likes of Errol Spence, also Jermell Charlo as well, yourself. But from a Mixon standpoint, he is sparred with Badu Jack and Demetria Bivol, who is an up-and-coming light heavyweight sensation, actually claimed a vacant title, and a big right hand by Adrian Taylor.
Right, they're both showing a lot of veteran prowess for their short careers so far.
Two tough guys going at it in the middle of the ring. Taylor, so powerful though, when he lands those shots, you see Mixon's head snap back from the lightning coming out of the fist of Adrian Taylor.
And Ronald Mixon has been connecting with those straight left hands, so Taylor has been susceptible to getting clubbed by that, but it is that forward pressure by Adrian Taylor, a left hook, that momentarily wobbles Mixon.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Taylor pressing forward, continuing to bring the heat on Mixon, getting inside where Mixon does not want him to be.
But Mixon caught Taylor coming in with the right hook. He timed him beautifully, Rob.
Yeah, absolutely. They have really gotten opened up in this fourth round here.
And it was momentarily that Taylor, as the referee in charge, and Young was trying to back them up, he pretty much pushed him to the side because these guys want to certainly mix it up here tonight in Dallas.
It's left by Mixon. Taylor's a little wobbled by that one, continuing to pull his way forward and be aggressive in the face of Mixon. Both these guys are warriors, both from the inner city. Taylor from Dallas as they exchange blows right there, and Mixon from Los Angeles, South Central. These are warriors. These are guys who grew up in the streets. They had to fight to get out of where they were. They've both done that. Neither guy, Rob, will give an inch to the other one in this fight.
That is for sure, and they definitely both won it, and that's proving to tonight.
Taylor has thrown some heavy shots towards Mixon, but Mixon isn't going anywhere. And you wonder if you're Adrian Taylor, even though they are still relatively young in their careers, if that is affecting Taylor, because he's not throwing as much frequency. And now it is Mixon who's backing up Taylor with a sweeping left hook.
Mixon throwing a lot of effective power here. You know, he's starting to go right back to that straight left hand. It's now back to having some success. Now he has to look out for him looping that left hand now for Adrian.
Mixon becoming the aggressor all of a sudden toward the end of round number 4.
Taylor is laughing. He has a smile on his face, but you know that Mixon's confidence is starting to soar. Final moments of the round here in Dallas. Roy Jones. Welcome back to Roy Jones Jr. Boxing here on BN Sports. Adrian Taylor and Ronald Mixon as we go ahead and enter the 5th round, as neither fighter has been to the 5th round in their pro careers. Adrian Taylor has been 5 rounds, but that was in the World Series of Boxing, which does not count in the professional ranks.
Yeah, Mixon's first 7 fights went a total of 15 rounds. So he's a guy who's either finished people most of the time or been finished once. Both these guys are testing that stamina and that cardio right now, Rob. Obviously, when you get tired like this, your defense is what maybe suffers a little bit. You start to drop those hands a little, and either guy capable of taking advantage of that if the other one does it, as Taylor does there with the right hand.
Yeah, absolutely. Taylor's really coming forward and seemed to almost catch a second win from that last round. But one thing that's really surprised me is the athleticism of Mixon. You know, he's really able to fit in shots with a lot of effective speed.
And Mixon is getting crafty with his shots, Rob. He unloaded a straight left to the abdomen of Taylor, and then he comes upstairs with a straight left. He's been buzzing Taylor. This is very an unknown territory for both guys, but Mixon seems to be getting better as the fight progresses.
Yeah, he's having a lot of success with that left hand. You know, he's moving it around a whole lot. He's got a lot of flashing shots to Taylor.
Taylor went 4 rounds in his last time inside the ring. That was on August 25th, the win over Tristan James. And the last time Mixon win 4 rounds was against Monroe Ceballos back on March 27th, 2015. A straight left that connected right there on the right side of the ribcage of Taylor.
Mixon having trouble blocking body shots with that length. Taylor can take advantage of it if he's able to sneak some of those shots in under the ribs of Mixon. And as you get tired, as you know, Rob, those shots start to take their toll more and more. Not so much that they hurt, but they do. It's more about your breath and your wind.
See, I think it's one of those situations here. Taylor's throwing very effective punches, but not as many of them as Mixon is. Mixon's really letting those go. Maybe not all of them are landing, but there's more getting through than for Taylor.
Well, it's very similar to beauty is in the eye of the beholder. How are they going to score the round? Are they going to score the aggression of Mixon, who is out hustling Taylor, or are they going to score based on the more clean, effective, heavier shots from Adrian Taylor?
You know, that's one thing you always have to wait till the end of the fight to see with how subjective the judges definitely can be.
A straight left that connected right on the jaw of Mixon, or from Mixon to Taylor, as under 30 seconds left in the fifth.
This fight has clearly changed. The pace was being pushed very aggressively early on by Adrian Taylor. Now it's Mixon dictating in the ring right now and backing Taylor up. But both guys, again, very, very tough in each other's face. Neither guy wanting to give anything to the other one. This is a very tough round to score and a very tough fight to score.
Yeah, they're both digging their heels in.
That's the end of the round. Wow,
And
what a fight so far.
The round. One more round remaining. Adrian Taylor, his trainer, Nathan Piptone, and Tony Mack, and Ronald Mixon, Justin Fortune, who we mentioned is the former strength and conditioning coach for Manny Pacquiao. Both guys need this round, and guys, I think it's a very close fight.
A very, very close fight. I think it might come down for both corners. Might come down to this fight, this round right here.
I guarantee you, neither guy wants to leave it to the judges. They both want that knockout. As you look at Taylor, he's exhausted right now. Which guy wants it more? Which fighter has more of that determination and that drive and that heart inside of him? Because as you know, Rob, at this stage of a fight, sometimes that's all you can fall back on.
Absolutely, it's going to come down to whose heart's a little bit bigger.
It is the sixth and final round. Adrian Taylor and Ronald Mixon. Ray Flores, Rob Bant, Jim Grieshaber here in Dallas. Roy Jones Jr. Boxing on BN Sports. And Taylor starting off very quickly, looking to close the distance on Mixon.
Yeah, he's really determined this round. He really wants to get in and win this round. I think I'd say both corners definitely need it.
Big shot by Taylor with the left as Mixon ducked out. Mixon missing with the big left. Both guys coming out very aggressively to start this final round.
If you are Taylor, though, Rob, he has abandoned the jab. He was successful in the opening rounds, using his jab, touching him to the body of Mixon, but he has abandoned that. He's more sort of sitting down and trying to counter Mixon.
And I can't tell whether or not that is a feeling of him feeling he needs to knock out Mixon, or whether he was countered earlier with while throwing his jab. But I think the jab is definitely something that's going to be the key to him landing the bigger shots in this round.
Well, it is certainly a learning experience, Jim, for Adrian Taylor. The consensus was that Taylor was going to be able to put out Mixon based on the fact that Mixon was buzzed and knocked out by Carlos Gongora a couple of years ago. But Mixon has shown tremendous growth since that defeat.
Yeah, he talked to me about that growth yesterday, and you can clearly see it here. The focus coming into that fight, his defense has improved greatly, and I like how Mixon started to change his approach mid-fight and became more aggressive with Taylor, who obviously still coming forward. But these two guys, anybody's fight still, with a minute 20 and counting remaining. Love this fight, love the style of both guys, the heart of both guys. Absolutely entertaining. Our first one on BN Sports. We could not ask for a better co-main event than what we've gotten here from Ronald Mixon and Adrian Taylor.
And to come in this last minute, they are both wanting nothing but to go forward here.
And Taylor got into boxing at 13 years of age following getting in trouble with the law. He was on probation. It said it saved him. And now he goes ahead and fights for his two boys that are 5-1. 40 seconds left. Taylor's got to dig deep, as does Mixon.
Mixon's been in jail. He's lost both of his parents by the time he was 16. Both these guys have had extremely hard lives, and this is one of the reasons I love boxing so much, guys. For two guys like this to have that to focus on, and you can see how great they've become. It really is inspiring to see what they've done with their lives and put it on display for us in front of a national audience in this ring here tonight.
You can definitely see the hunger in both fighters, wanting to better their situations from where they've been at in the past.
Final moments of what has been an entertaining matchup in the light heavyweight division between Adrian Taylor and Ronald Mixon. Terrific fight here on BN Sports between Adrian Taylor and Ronald Mixon. As we will now see how the judges have this fight scored. 6 rounds in the books. Neither man had been past 4 rounds in their careers, and we will see how the judges have it scored from right here in Dallas, Texas. Roy Jones Jr. Boxing continues here on BN Sports. Welcome back to Roy Jones Jr. Boxing here on BN Sports at Gillies in Dallas, Texas. We go through the scorecards once again. Here's Thomas Schreiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards, and we have a split decision. Judge Javier Martinez scores it 58-56 in favor of Ronald Mixon. Judge Javier Alvarez scores it 58-56 in favor of Adrian Taylor. And Judge Rosario Solis scores it 58-56 in favor of your winner, Adrian Monroe Taylor.
Adrian Taylor gets the victory by split decision. He's now 5-0, remaining undefeated. We knew it was going to be